Tonight on Missing Persons Unit...
He said, and we need to be as high and as far away from Sydney as we can get.
A devoted wife is shattered when her husband disappears without a trace.
We both need him home really quickly.
A brother puts his life on hold to track down his sister who vanished 3 months ago.
Excuse me, can I ask you a question? You haven't seen this girl around, have you?
Does she look like that now?
And on the Hawkesbury River, as the search for man overboard Michael Baron goes on, his distraught family continues to pray.
I just keep fingers crossed and hope that we'll find him.
We ready to go?
It's Monday morning at the Missing Persons Unit, and there's a backlog of cases from the weekend.
All right, 31 over the weekend outstanding. Gary, we've got another one, 45-year-old female reported by her brother.
Later that morning, Gary starts his next case. Geraldine, a 45-year-old mother of 4 who has been missing for 3 months.
I might contact the brother this morning about that. There's one here, he's a 40-year-old male.
Sergeant Jane Sutcliffe is assigned the case of 40-year-old Ronald Barnes, reported missing by his wife. 2 days ago, he rode off on his motorbike and didn't come home.
The bike's actually been found in scrub up there on another property. Probably what we need to do is get in contact with the family and sort of find out what's going on. All right then, have a good morning.
For Gary, this is going to be a busy day, with new information just received on last week's suspected drowning on the Hawkesbury River.
Just inquiring about this Michael Baron case.
Last week, we saw Gary on the case of 34-year-old Michael Baron.
So they've swam to shore, have they?
Who fell out of a small dinghy while travelling on the Hawkesbury River 8 days earlier.
We'll start searching again now.
A massive 5-day police, land and sea search 3 to 4 metres failed to find any trace of Michael Baron. For his sister Rita, waiting at the scene has been pure torture.
It just makes me feel I'm close to him. I feel comfortable here, just being out here.
But this morning, the news everyone has been hoping would never come. A body has been found in the water.
We got a call over the marine frequency from a fishing trawler.
What time was that? Did they radio it in?
About 12:35 between approximately.
35.
Yep. Who advises of a body in the water.
Yep.
We put him straight into a body bag that was sitting in our litter.
Yeah.
But is it Michael Baron? Locals are quick to tell you this is not the first time a person has fallen overboard and vanished on this stretch of water.
I'm constantly looking at the water, and at night time it sounds horrible, but I'm waiting for a bump, you know, and it's just something you don't want to see or be a part of, really. It certainly wouldn't be very pleasant.
Only a thorough examination by police forensic specialists will confirm whether the body is that of Michael Baron. Back at the Missing Persons Unit, this morning's new case of Cabramatta man Ronald Barnes, reported missing by his wife, is causing concern.
We've now got a photograph.
His abandoned motorcycle has been found on a farm outside Armidale in country New South Wales, 2 days after he disappeared.
I'm waiting on the local area command to make a decision on what they're going to do.
But the first job for Case Officer Sergeant Jane Sutcliffe is to reassure Ronald's wife, Kathy, who's understandably devastated.
We may need, she was upset when I spoke to her, so maybe we need to sort of just check on her welfare and maybe give her details of the counsellor.
At Brooklyn Wharf, on the Hawkesbury River, the forensic team begins its investigation to identify the body.
At this stage, we'll just say that an unidentified body has been retrieved, and whilst no obvious injuries were detected, the state of decomposition is advanced.
At this stage, personal items found on the body are the only way police will be able to prove whether this man is Michael Baron or not.
Diane, we just got a an Audi car key, and two other keys, 2 silver keys on that keyring. We might just chuck it in the bag and we'll give it all a wash, I think, before we rebag it. I think that's all it is. I think there's some more there.
Meanwhile, back in the city, Jane is on her way to question Kathy Wilkins, the de facto wife of missing father Ronald Barnes.
There's no particular game plan before you get there. You have to kind of work off the person's reactions and how they're responding to the situation.
It's now been 2 days since anyone has seen or heard from Ronald.
Hi, Kathy, is it?
Yes.
Hi, my name's Jane. This is Darren from the Missing Persons Unit.
In the few days before he disappeared, Ronald hadn't been himself, so Kathy is worried sick.
There was a few little things that he said that were strange during the week. He went into like a crystal shop, which is just, it doesn't go shopping.
Yep.
And he bought a ring that was supposed to help you sleep and that sort of thing. That's when he got really funny and he said, no, I need to get out of Sydney. He said, and we need to be as far away from Sydney as we can get.
Mm-hmm. Has he had any history of this before, or just...
Nothing. It's just really out of character. Everybody I've spoken to has said it's just not him.
Back on the Hawkesbury, Michael Veron's family has arrived at the scene hoping for any positive news. But because of the condition of the body, police are still not able to confirm to the family if it is their beloved Michael.
What happens now is that we'll very shortly, the government contractors will arrive and convey this person to the coroner's court to confirm the identity of the deceased, and hopefully we'll know more after that time.
For his family, the 8-day search has been difficult enough, but this extra wait for closure is unbearable.
Everyone's very sad, very sombre, just very, very sad, and feeling a hell of a lot for the parents, I think.
They're just shattered. I don't know. I just really feel for them and think how they're going to live for the rest of the time now.
The next of kin sister, Rita, has been following everything that's been going on. Obviously, we can't be certain that this person here is her brother, but until the formal identification is carried out, we'll have to leave it at that.
He thinks people are chasing him. He's very, he said to me, I can't come home because I'm a marked man. And he didn't want to die, and he didn't want us to die, so, yes.
Ronald hopped on his bike and just rode off, expecting his family to follow.
And we all sort of sat around once he left and thought, no, if we don't show up, he'll come to his senses and he'll come home. And he never came home.
Later that morning, Gary starts his next case. Geraldine, a 45-year-old mother of 4 who's been missing for 3 months.
So she's left her 4 sons.
Are they with the father?
She's a single mother. Yeah, the actual father's disappeared sometime ago.
Oh, is he okay then? How old are the 4 sons?
After receiving a tip-off that Geraldine has been seen in Bondi, her older brother Martin reported her missing to police.
As far as I know, she hasn't made any effort to contact them, and no one's heard from her for quite a while. So I thought we'll list her as a missing person. We need to use the support that's out there.
It's been 3 days now, and still no word from missing dad, Ronald Barnes.
He doesn't appear to be in any risk of causing himself any self-harm. It's more a fact of him wanting to get away from Sydney.
So Jane has decided to travel to Armidale to join the local police search.
He felt that something was going to happen in the area, and now that he's been missing in the bush for a couple of days, there are obviously grave concerns for his safety.
This is a photo of the missing person that we're looking for, Ronald Barnes. He last rang his wife at 3 a.m. on Saturday morning. He left on his motorcycle, which was a road bike. When his bike was located, there was a key, road map, and his helmet was missing.
Police know they don't have a moment to lose.
Our resources, we're going to use New England Lac Police, the SES personnel that are here, and the police air wing will be on site. Okay, we'll get cracking.
Since reporting Geraldine missing to police, there have been a number of new sightings. So Martin heads to the beach to see if he can find her himself.
Excuse me, I just asked you a question. I'm just trying to identify someone as a missing person around here. Do you come down here very often? Okay, all right, thanks. Excuse me, guys, can I just show you a photo if you've seen this lady around the beach at all in the last... You guys are locals, are you?
No, mate,
No.
not for me.
Okay, all right, thanks a lot. Cheers, thanks.
Meanwhile, back at the missing persons unit, Gary discovers even more evidence that places Geraldine in the Bondi area.
Okay, there's an entry there on the 7th of October. And she's pawned 3 items. She's pawned a necklace and 2 pairs of sunglasses.
While Gary looks for more clues on the database, back in Bondi, after spending the day handing out Geraldine's photo, Martin may finally have had some luck.
Question. You haven't seen this girl around, have you, anywhere? It's my sister, actually.
Does look familiar.
Yeah?
Does she look like that now?
Yeah, grey hair, probably fairly about your height, probably medium build. She probably looks older, but she's just got grey hair.
Yes.
Probably about 45.
Well, I come here lots.
Do you?
And I just have the feeling I've seen this lady.
Yeah. If you see her, just say, look, your brother's looking for you, even if you say that. If you see her.
Yes.
All right?
What's your name?
Martin.
It's now been 3 days since Ronald Barnes disappeared, and there's now real concern for his safety. So the task force has moved their focus to the farm, where his damaged motorbike was found.
We just moved the trucks over to this location. We'll try and sit the chopper here.
Local farmer Patrick Swanson saw Ronald ride through here 3 days earlier, but didn't realise he'd been reported missing.
Yeah, he got off his hay, said where that truck is.
Yep.
He looked
The
around there for
farmer
about a minute.
is their best lead yet.
He rode back along this track and then ended up right down on the fence line down there.
Okay. What we'll do, Jim, we'll wait for Polly to arrive.
Meanwhile, hot on the trail of Geraldine, Gary heads off to the Bondi pawnbroker, where she hocked her jewellery.
Hey, how you going? I'm looking for a person who's pawned some stuff here on the 7th of October this year. Geraldine.
Yeah.
You can check your records to see if she's left an address, like a new address.
How do you spell Geraldine? You got it there?
Geraldine.
Her address? Bega.
Okay, it's an old address.
Okay.
It's a dead end. But all is not lost.
I'll show you a photo of her, actually.
Yeah. I think she's got white hair. She's
like that?
Yeah, no, that's her. Yeah, that's her.
Police decide the only way of finding Ronald alive in this dense scrub is to carry out an air and land search.
We're going to send the foot soldiers down through this area to the edge of the gorge. It's probably just all this area through here.
Okay. While the search gets underway,
Yeah, is that Kathy?
Jane takes time
It's
to
Jane Suckett
update
from Missing
Ronald's
Persons
anxious wife, Kathy.
Good, how are you? That's fine, I understand. Look, we're here at the property now. We've got a few SES and a few police. We've just sent Polair up to do a bit of a recce of the area we'll be searching. He's left the tarmac, come on the dirt, and it's definitely private property, so he certainly seems to have come here, not so much knowing where he is, but, this is where he was heading for, so... and there's not really any way of getting out of here without, one of the local property people seeing him. Yeah, well, like I said, we're heading out, and as soon as we get back in, I'll give you another call and let you know.
terrain is mostly inaccessible. Police know that if Ronald is lost somewhere in here, the chances of finding him alive are slim indeed.
She came in and we were having a chat, and she said that she sells jewellery down in the Bondi markets.
Yeah.
So...
Meanwhile, back in Bondi, acting on the information received from the pawnbroker, Gary seeks help from local police. He asks Constables Wright and Orchard to visit the markets and check out if Geraldine is selling her jewellery today.
We're down here today because we've got a missing person. Just wondering if you've ever seen her?
No, she doesn't look like anybody I know.
Name's Geraldine.
I think, yeah, I think so, but I don't know what she... Probably she's just wearing clothes, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen this.
But after hours of questioning,
Thanks for your help.
there is still no sign of Geraldine.
Seen anyone with the description?
In Armidale, time is fast running out.
All right, listen up, guys. We're going to concentrate on this area in here, okay? That fence line there is that fence there, all right?
With only a few hours of daylight remaining,
We might start one crew going this way and one crew going that way. So
police prepare for one final sweep of the area.
Just looking for any signs that Ronald might have been through here. He may have dropped his motorbike helmet. He might have set up a camp overnight, something like that. So any indication really that he's been this way.
we've got a very out of the ordinary incident. We've got a missing person that's travelled on a road bike through very rugged and hilly terrain, dumped the bike and disappeared off the face of the earth. You know, it's a very bizarre event.
Missing Persons Unit, Game Milky speaking.
Right, this is Martin.
Back at the Missing Persons Unit, Geraldine's brother Martin calls Gary with some exciting news.
She saw Geraldine on the beach.
Astrid, the Bondi woman Martin spoke to earlier, has actually met up with Geraldine.
She recognised her straight away.
Yeah.
So, to save time before the lead goes cold, Gary asks a colleague from the local area police to meet with Astrid immediately.
Astrid, is it? I'm Constable Barnett from Waverley. How are you?
Astrid League, nice to meet you.
Whereabouts did you actually see her that time?
I think we met here, just a little bit further on. She was talking to two men, and then I just said, excuse me, but have you got a brother called Martin? And she said, yes, and who are you? And I introduced myself.
Did she give you any indication as to where she might be staying?
I asked her, I said, are you okay? Because obviously they're looking for you. And she said, I said, have you got a place? And she said, yes, I do, I'm okay. And but she started crying at some stage and said that talked about her life a little bit, about the breakup of her marriage and difficulties with bringing up the children. When I said, look, it might be a really good idea if you reach out for help and they are looking for you and bring them. And then she said, I will, it'll take me some time. And then she crossed the road, she went towards here and said she's going to a pottery class in the pavilion.
With nightfall approaching, Pol Air makes its last pass of the day. If Ronald Barnes is out here, he faces another freezing night in the bush.
Well, we just searched the ridgeline and the sparse areas of vegetation as the commander requested, and found that a lot of the area was pretty much inaccessible to those who'd be walking on foot. If his walk sort of down off in this direction, he'd find it difficult to make it down to the river and creek line that we searched along.
Back on the ground, Jane's group has spent the day searching 80 hectares on foot, but again, no luck.
Well, we've just done a search of this whole paddock. I think we've covered it pretty thoroughly, but unfortunately, nothing to be seen.
We've searched all the areas that we've assessed and we've turned up nothing. So it is a mystery. We don't like to think the worst, but we're just hopeful that he's made his way out somehow and gain assistance.
Meanwhile, as night approaches in Bondi, Martin is more confident than ever of finding his sister. With renewed hope, he is still showing photos of Geraldine to anyone who'll stop and listen.
For a second. Just looking for a missing person. You haven't seen this girl around the beach area?
Yeah, I just saw her today.
So
Well, she comes in here and has a coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She's just walking straight up there.
Then, in the distance, Geraldine suddenly appears, alive and dancing on the hill. 3 months of searching is over. But in the time it takes Martin to walk up to where he saw her, she's gone
She was here a few
again.
minutes ago. I'm Martin anyway. What's your name? Dale. How you going, Dale? All right. I'm a big brother, so I'm just wanting to know that we still love her and if she's okay, that's good. If she's happy.
Martin now knows just how close he is.
Oh, yeah, they knew her, yeah. The two guys I was talking to, and she was there with them. It was her, so they knew her name.
But in Armidale, the search for Ronald Barnes is called off.
Hello. Hi, Kathy. It's Jane Sutcliffe. I'm afraid I haven't got any good news for you. We did a very thorough search of the property that the bike was located on, but unfortunately there was no sign anywhere.
Oh. Where could he possibly be?
Yeah, I really don't know what to tell you. Just personal opinion, I reckon he's out there somewhere out in the bush. There's, cliffs and gorges and all sorts of things, and if he's fallen over and injured himself or if he, just wants to go out and stay out there, then it could be that, he'll never be found.
I just want to make an appeal, Ron. If you're watching this, please come home. We really need you. If anybody has seen him, please contact the police so that we can get him home and get him safe. We don't know what's happening, but we both need him home really quickly. Thank you.
Martin is now unsure whether his sister Geraldine ran off because she saw him.
So I don't know if she spotted me. I don't think she did. And so that's probably in my favour. If she hasn't seen me, they'll have left a message for her. That might set her off again. She might want to talk to me. Well, that's her choice. We can't do anything about that, but just as long as we know she's safe, I guess, and that she knows we're still, caring, supporting and willing to help her if she needs us. Then the next step then is to make sure the boys have got enough support too. So it's sort of a twofold thing, isn't it?
But police soon ring him with some good news.
Excuse me, can I ask you a
Truth
question?
is, not long after he saw his sister on the hill, she went to Bondi Police Station and now has agreed to meet him. While this case has a happy ending, it's devastating news for the family of Michael Varon.
Sadly for the family of Michael Varon, the body that was located at the Hawkesbury River was identified as their son at the morgue. Hopefully now it's given the family some closure.
Next week, Kathy's crusade continues.
You don't realise, how upsetting and how traumatic it is until it's yourself going through it.
As the search for husband Ronald enters new territory.
I am a little bit apprehensive about how he'll react.
And a 70-year-old grandmother
Fatama locked the dog up. I couldn't see which way she went.
wanders away from her home
Just looking for a missing person in the
and
area.
vanishes into thin air.
We're looking for you. Everybody in the neighbourhood is looking for you. So please come home.